Thank you, Mr. Solicitor. Are there any questions or comments from members of council?
No.
Any questions or comments from department heads or supervisors? Hearing or seeing none, this deliberative meeting is now adjourned. Good morning, and as we head into our morning council meeting, if you have a cell phone, we ask that you would put it on silent, mute, or off at this time. At this time, we'll be led in prayer by Madam Clerk, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you all join me in standing?
O God of might, wisdom and justice, through whom authority is rightly administered, laws enacted and judgment decreed, assist us, we beseech thee, that this city council may be conducted in righteousness and be eminently useful to thy people over whom we preside. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams.
Here.
Morgan.
Present.
West.
Present.
Mayor Kirkland.
Present. Move for the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
I second. Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
West.
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes. At this time, we open up the phone lines for public comments. Ask that you would state your name, your address, and then your public comments or concerns at this time. Mr. Solicitor?
Yes, the opportunity for folks to email the city was advertised, and we do have a call-in number as well, 610-447-770, extension 7951 for public comment. Your Honor, may I approach you for a moment?
Yes.
Your Honor, should I proceed with the public comment that was emailed?
Yes, Mr. Solicitor.
And the question posed to the mayor was, should we read this email in light of the fact that there's not an address, and the mayor indicated yes. So there was an email received from Nolan Fontaine, Tuesday, July 7th, 2020 at 8:13 a.m. to our press director, Anye Cleveland. Subject was public comment, Chester City Hall deliberative meeting, July 2020. And the email reads as follows. This comment is regarding the current state of water quality in Chester, PA per a 2016 report from CBS. The aforementioned report stated that lead in water in Chester, Pennsylvania was 6 times the rate higher than those of Flint, Michigan. My question is, what will council specifically do to remedy the amount of lead in water in Chester immediately? In the short term, what would you recommend residents to do to reduce lead exposure? Boil water advisory, lead water filters, obtaining a water cooler system. Should all residents of Chester be tested for lead exposure, given this has been an issue for 4 years? Will an ordinance be issued to curtail lead water post? Public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Solicitor. I would, to the resident who has posed that series of questions, I would ask that they would have a conversation or stop here in the City Hall to speak with our health department. I don't know exactly, they're talking about 2016. We don't know exactly if those numbers are correct or not, but I do know if they have a conversation with the members of our health department, that they can answer all those questions pertaining to lead, if that be the fact, and our water quality. So I would ask them to not only just come into the city, but I would direct them to Ms. Olivia Smith and our health department so that she might, or that individual might be able to receive the answers they're inquiring about.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I see no further public comments on the agenda items only.
Thank you, Mr. Solicitor. Seeing no further public comments, Madam Clerk.
Resolution. The Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby authorize the proper city official to prepare the specifications for the advertisement for the following bid: Memorial Park Football Field Lighting Project. Further, that it does hereby authorize the city clerk to advertise for the aforementioned bids.
So moved.
I second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland?
Yes.
Resolution, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby adopt the attached Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, between the City of Chester and the William Penn Lodge Number 19 of the Fraternal Order of Police, which sets forth the terms and conditions for scheduling practices. Further, that it does hereby ratify the execution of the MOU by the proper city official for and on behalf of the City of Chester.
So moved.
I second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland?
Yes.
Resolution, be it resolved that City of Chester of Delaware County hereby requests a blight remediation program grant of $300,000 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for Pulaski School remediation project. Be it further resolved that the City of Chester does hereby designate Thaddeus Kirkland, Mayor, and Nafis Nichols, Chief Financial Officer, as the officials to execute all documents and agreements between the City of Chester and the Commonwealth Financing Authority to facilitate and assist in obtaining the requested grant.
So moved.
I second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland?
Yes.
Resolution, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby ratify the recall of the following individuals on the attached list with an update of their employment status from laid off to a modified work schedule of no more than 20 hours per week effective June 29th, 2020. Further, said recalls are in accordance with the approval of the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development.
So moved.
I second.
Madam Clerk, we're with a slight correction. It was read into the record 20 hours a week. That should read 19 hours a week.
19. I have made a correction, Your
Not
Honor.
a week or a day.
No, we.
Week. 19 hours a week.
19 hours per week? Okay.
That's the only
Only correction you have?
correction we wanted to put in place, so that's 19 hours a week.
All right.
So moved with the noted correction.
I second.
Are there any other questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland?
Yes.
Resolution, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does approve and order payment of a series of bills and refunds as prepared by the Department of Accounts and Finance and shown on expenditure approval list dated July 2nd, 2020, attached hereto and made a part hereof, subject to approval from the Department of Accounts and Finance.
So moved.
I second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
West?
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
This time, we'll open up the phone lines once again for public comments. We ask that during your public comments, you state your name, your address, and your comments or concerns. Mr. Solicitor? As we pause and wait to see if there are any public comments coming through our phone lines, I do want to acknowledge the presence of our receiver, Mr. Mike Dowry, from out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, who is going to be working along with us as we work our way through this fiscal emergency. We want to say to Mr. Dowry, welcome to the city of Chester, and he is part of the team, and we appreciate him and his presence and those who will be working along with him here in our city. Mr. Dowry, you're welcome. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your presence here today. I do want to, while we continue to wait, I think it was Ms. Johnson the 2 weeks ago. Ms. Johnson had inquired about what some of the other industries and authorities here in the city, how they contribute to our budget here in the city, and I wanted to respond to her inquiry. And so if Mrs. Johnson is listening, I wanted to make sure we got back with her as promised. Harris Casino in the year 2019 contributed $10.6 million to the city's budgets. The Philadelphia Union Soccer Stadium contributes $150,000 annually. The Stormwater Authority contributed $176,000 during the 2019 year. Widener University provided us with $250,000 towards our annual budget. Chester Housing Authority, 2019-20, $60,000 that went towards our annual budget. Covanta, our trash to steam facility, provided us with $5.1 million towards our annual budget, and we were fortunate enough to receive some funding from the Chester Community Charter School of $100,000 per year. And so I wanted to make sure that, Mrs. Johnson, that you receive that information, factual information. We think it important that persons have the factual information and so that they know how to respond accordingly. These are just a number of the groups and organizations and authorities here in the city that contribute, that not only house themselves here in our community, but they contribute to our annual budget, and we are gratefully appreciative of that.
Mayor.
Yes, yes, sir. Councilman.
So I wanted to give everyone an update. A few months ago, well, at the start of the pandemic, the city of Chester received additional amounts of monies to our community development block grant for CDBGs, G monies, and we wanted to allocate a portion of that money out to small businesses, and we finally got the approval from HUD. So tomorrow at 5 p.m., we'll be streaming live on the City of Chester's Facebook page with myself, State Representative Brian Kirkland, and Ms. Antoinette Trueheart from Entrepreneur Works, where we'll be discussing COVID-19 business relief opportunities and funding that we can provide for the local businesses in the City of Chester. So again, we've been able to share that flyer on social media and our webpage, the City of Chester's website. Again, that time, tomorrow is July 9th, 2020 at 5 p.m., and it'll be streamed live on the City of Chester's webpage, where we'll be able to discuss the relief opportunities and also the application process and qualifications as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman. Also, I think this is extremely important. Hats off to our very own health department. Just a few weeks ago, we conducted testing for the virus here in City Hall parking lot. 319 persons were tested. It was just revealed to me on yesterday that out of those 319 persons tested, 5 people came back positive. That is an amazing job. That means that the folks in Chester have been taking care of themselves. 5 people is too much. We hope to continue to bring that number down. There'll be some further testing in our community. Those dates will be given to you at that time. I'm gonna try to do something. I'll probably get in trouble, but I do want to recognize some folks. I want to thank Councilman Jacobs in his absence for the work that his department did in helping us provide those testing. I want to thank Mr. Rosetta Carter for heading it up. I want to thank Ms. Sylvia Smith and Ms. Carter for their teamwork, and Dr. Hannum and our very own health board here in the city of Chester for their tremendous work. Also, a number of fraternities and sororities were present here on that day. Black doctors were here on that day, some doctors, some students, I think from Newman College were present on that day. Members of Delaware County Council were present, and nurses were present. We want to thank Chester Housing Authority for their generous contribution of $10,000. We want to thank Dr. Lee and Dr. Wang from Silvercare for their generous donation of $10,000. Moore Brothers of their generous donation of $1,000. Hunt's Funeral Home for their generous donation of $1,000. And so folks have been committed to making sure that each and every resident in this city has an opportunity to get tested. There will be further testing. You will hear more about that as we go along. Oh, and thank you, Ms. Smith. How could I forget Local 413? Local 413, where they set the model for this testing, and we could not have done it without them. They were here with their men and women in force, and we followed their lead from the time that they did the very first testing. So we appreciate all those persons and individuals and groups who helped out in this testing endeavor, and we look forward to doing it again in the future. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And once again, just so you know, please, there's been an uptick in some other communities, and we're asking folks to be mindful as they go out into the community to please, 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 please wear your mask, and if you're going to be in a group setting, please, please, please wear your mask. And also the Chester County Health Department. See, I know I'm going to forget somebody if I start talking. Chester County Health Department, so thank you. Mr. Solicitor. Councilwoman.
Hi, I'd like to say good day to everybody, and I still need your help as far as the census. So you still have time to either call it in and give them how many in your household, because we are behind, and I really, really, really need us to catch up. So I'm asking you again, please do your census. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you, Councilman.
Your Honor, we have received no calls for public comment.
Having received no calls for public comment, are there any further comments from the members of council? Hearing or seeing none, this meeting is now adjourned.